Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Palmetto Cats Live, where we unpack the anglers of YouTube. It's my pleasure to have Ron Presley, Catfish Ron, on here, editor of Catfish Now magazine. Hey, Ron, how you doing, man? How have you been dodging all these hurricanes down there in Florida?
I'll tell you what, we've been lucky lately. I've
Yes,
had to
sir.
run from a few in the past, so I don't mind missing them at all.
Yeah.
One of the first ones we ran from, we went to Tampa and stayed in a motel for 3 days without electricity because
Oh,
it
no.
followed us over there. So, it's really hard when you're thinking about it because you really don't know where they're going to go. But anyway,
Right.
yeah, we've been missing these.
Yeah.
I think you gave me a new nickname.
Yeah, Catfish Ron. Yeah, I was I was texting somebody, Michael Murillo. He's actually in here tonight, and I told him who I had coming up, and he goes, "Oh, Catfish Ron." I said, "Okay, I guess
That's where. Okay,
that's the
Michael.
name."
Thank
So
you. Thank
yeah.
you for that. Yeah.
Oh, Mikey Murillo. Let me shout out some people in here. Always first to come in. We had Mike Sampson, Fin Seeker, fishing with the Chad Muskrat. I got Chucky Uvery in here. Chucky, I'm gonna shout you out here later, buddy. I got
Hey, Chucky.
let's see. Muskrat. Yep, my wife is in here. Support me as always. Mike Irvin, Catfish and Crappy. Hey, Mark. Let's see here. Catfish Weekly, Mr. Lyle, Stan Smith. Oh man, we got a bunch of regulars in Ace Catfishing. I can't scroll down fast enough. That's good. Matthew Baker. That's a good problem to have, I guess, right?
No kidding. No kidding.
All right. Michael Murillo. He said, "Hey, y'all, Catfish has only 274 subs. Let's get that number up tonight." That's right. And I'll be reminding you throughout the stream, go check out Ron Presley on YouTube and go sub. He's doing live streams all the time. He's doing live streams with a lot of tournament anglers too. So that's content that you guys would like. Kevin Baker. I'm just going to scroll down. Brandon Cross, Richard Ward, Chunky Cats Fishing, Jay. Man, we got a bunch of them in here. D, Janice. Janice, I'm going to ship your towel out tomorrow. Anna's going to do it for me. I apologize. We're going to get it out. Chunky, we've been praying for you, buddy. He just had knee surgery. If you hadn't seen Chunky Cats live, it's a great show. And knee surgery, we're glad you're doing well, man. Bobby Newton, Katie Collins, Betty Jean. All right, let's get into this show, Ron. Tell me about Catfish Now, how you got into it, what you're doing now, what we can expect. What is it? What is Catfish Now?
Well, Catfish Now is, I think most people know, it's just a free online digital magazine. And it started, well, really, I'll back up a little bit. There used to be a magazine that was called Catfish Magazine, and it was actually a hard copy. And I was a contributor to that as a writer, but it finally went under, and maybe because of the hard copy publishing or whatever. I don't know. People are asking us all the time, can't you publish that in a hard copy because they like to read them? And I understand that, but it's cost prohibitive to do that. Just look around and look at everybody that's going out. But anyway, I wrote for them and I wrote for other people that about catfishing, but it was relatively new to me because I had started off writing about saltwater fishing.
Okay, yeah.
And because I was a saltwater guide for 10 years before I started writing. And I knew of Crappie Now, which is a sister publication to Catfish Now.
Okay.
They're both published by Dan Danenmuller, who's a pro crappie tournament angler. And a few other things. He's got a million things in his bucket, But anyway, my friend from TTI Blakemore I saw him and Larry Muse fishing on the Mississippi River. And they were catching those big trophy cats. And I thought, man, I sure would like to try that sometime. And as luck would have it, he got me set up with Larry. It wasn't long either, a couple of weeks or so. I found myself on Wilson Lake suspending for trophy catfish, and I just got hooked. But anyway, I continued to write here and there. And I had the idea because my friend was also with Crappie Now. And I told him, I said, you ought to do a Catfish Now magazine. And so he contacted the publisher, and lo and behold, he had already had the name Catfish Now, had already bought the the website name,
Right.
and he
Right.
was ready. He was just looking for an editor, and so it turned out that I started editing the magazine. I'm the only one they've ever had so far, and lining up writers, and we've got some good ones, I'm happy to say.
Good, good. Yeah, I've enjoyed the articles I read.
Catfish Sutton, I mean, he's it when it comes to the catfish world, especially in the writing, and Jess Samsel. That goes on. I can't name them all. So
Right. No,
anyway,
no worries about that.
Anyway, that's what happened, and the magazine come to be, and in October it will be 4 years old.
Congratulations.
So we're hanging in there. We're trying to keep providing that free information to the catfish anglers and the catfish community. It's fun. I like doing what I'm doing.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's like you looked at my questions, because I was going to ask you to tell us about Larry Muse and Wilson Lake.
I'll tell you
what, that story.
Anytime I ever would get to go to Wilson Lake with Larry Muse, I'd do it, because he just well, first of all, he's just fun being with. He may sing you a song, or he may do anything else. He'll tell a lot of stories, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But on that particular trip, which was the first trophy catfish trip I ever made, was with Larry, and he started telling me about suspending for those catfish, and his theory, where he doesn't like to drive up on those fish. He wants to be back away from them. And of course, they're in that deep timber is where we were fishing that day. And he would set up back off that timber and suspend those lines straight down, let that smell go in there, and try to bring them out. He says, I want to bring them out to me.
Bring them out.
Well, and a lot of times you hook them up in that timber, you don't get them out. So he wants them to come on out of there before he hooks them. And that day, he would probably say it wasn't successful at all. But, I caught about a 20-pound catfish, which was the biggest one I ever caught. And I thought we were doing good. But all those guys, all those guys are like that. If it don't weigh 30, they don't hardly even count it, the trophy anglers. But yeah, that was an awful fun.
I lost your sound, buddy. He come unplugged, maybe. We'll get it back going. As while he's getting that figured out. Hey, Chris Stigman, Mike Greenwill, we got fishing and stuff. Quarantine Balloons. Quarantine Balloons had a good idea. If you can hear me still, Ron, he said it would be cool to have a printed version once a year on the anniversary of the magazine. That might be cool. Still can't hear you yet. You might have to check your settings in there. Let me make sure it's not my earbuds. Can anybody hear Ron? And it'll take a second because there's a lag, so we'll wait for that to come up. Maybe it could be my earphones. I don't know if they went dead. I sure hope not. Nope, we can't hear him. So I'll let you figure that out there, Ron. I'm not sure what's going on. We got fishing with a squirrel. Just take your time, Ron. We'll get it. I did want to shout out. I hope he's still in here, but Chucky Ouvry, the guy that made those towels for me, I invited him into chat so that you guys could see his name, and then you can you can get in touch with him and get you some towels made if you want. And tonight we're going to give away a white towel. And I know that Janice DeMint is probably saying, I still haven't got my towels yet. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry. We're going to get it out to you tomorrow. Still don't hear you there, Ron. No, maybe I'm not sure what's going on, buddy. Go ahead and try to go out.
You got now?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I found some button to push. There you go.
You found a new button. All right, cool.
Chucky, thank you for the Catfish Now towels.
Yeah.
By the way.
So you want to?
He does some.
You've had them longer than I have. How do they last?
Well, I haven't had them on the boat yet. I haven't been fishing. I'm sorry to say. this dadgum virus thing, and
yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of in that high risk category, and I'll tell you what,
Yes,
I've
sir.
been being a good boy, better than I thought I could be. But so
I wish
haven't
more
actually,
people would be like that.
yeah, well, maybe so. I don't know. I know you don't want to go through that again. I heard you talk about it.
No.
So.
And you know what's funny? And I'm not gonna. There we go. Anytime, Ron. Too nice to mess up, Ron. So that's. It says Charles Ouvery, but y'all, if you go to my Facebook website or my Facebook page, I posted last week sometime about these towels, and just go find them and message them on Facebook. I know there's a lot of YouTubers in here that would love to have these. They're very affordable, and he'll send them out to you, and he does an excellent job. So Chucky, if y'all saw my perch video, how to catch perch, he's the one that taught me how to do it with the sabiki rig. So not only does he make great towels, but he's a heck of a fisherman. And Ron, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about Chucky, since you know him?
Well, some of you probably know he was our cover boy here a few months back, and I know him because of Santee Cooper. Of course, your home country.
Mm-hmm.
I've been down there and covered quite a few different catfish tournaments, usually out of Black's Camp, which is really my favorite place to go down there. And I actually thought I was going next month, but it's not looking now like I'm going to make it for
the Monster
Cat Quest. I was really hoping to. I would have met you live, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, man. I still haven't decided. That's the week after we're starting back school, and
yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to make any plans yet. I don't know what that's going to be like.
Yeah, well, it's tough too, and I love it for one reason. It's the closest what I would call trophy catfishing to me, because I live in Florida, and unless you go out in the Panhandle, we don't have any big fish around here. You can catch some nice channel cats over in the St. Johns River, but not trophy fish. And Santee Cooper's like, in 7 hours, I can be in my room at Black's Camp. So that's good. And it's that far to the Panhandle for me, believe it or not, and still in Florida. But once you start going east out there, it takes you forever to get out there. So I like it a lot, and that's where I met Chucky. He always friendly, usually had his kid around, it seems like. Good family man, I think. Always enjoy seeing him. Took a lot of pictures of him. He's usually bringing in a big old fish of some kind.
Oh man, yeah, Chucky's an excellent angler. He's an excellent guy. He'll tell you how it is, but you got to appreciate that. So Mike Greenwell said, Ron, the Poor Boy Benefit Tournament yesterday was a huge success. So I'm sure you'll be having something to say about that.
I'm working with them right now to do a story. Turned out that one of the big catfish celebrities to me, Aaron Wheatley, won that tournament. Him and Jody Bevan. And I'm working with a lot of people to do a little story on that. I am so proud. That reminds me of something else I wanted to mention tonight. And I have for, I guess, really a couple of years, and maybe Muddy River Catfishing. Hello there, Chris. How you doing?
Yeah.
Good to see you in here.
He come in, and we got another celebrity in here. I just got to tell y'all, William Lakin. That's my father.
That's your dad. Well,
that's my dad. That's
William.
Who taught me how to fish. So
welcome.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Where was I? I got sidetracked.
You were talking about how you're working with people to cover that tournament.
Oh yeah, that tournament. We did a little bit of stuff coming into it, and there's even another story that I was already working on. And it's sometimes those stories, they go somewhere you didn't think they were going to go, and this is a good one that and it won't be out till October. I don't want to say too much, but it's a good one that ended up bringing 3 different threads into the story, where we started from just one, and it includes this Poor Boy tournament and Brent Jones, Carolyn Jones, and some other people. But the point I was going to make earlier is that what I'd been working on for a while was this catfish, hashtag catfish class. Hashtag catfish class.
Catfish class, okay.
Yeah, and I've tried to use it whenever I see something going on, like one of those benefit tournament. It's if you're
right.
sharing that or recognizing it in social media, tag it with that hashtag and help me get that thing started. I've seen a few. Every once in a while, I'll see somebody picked up on it and they notice, because the catfish community is always doing something good. And I just love to see it. I love to see it stay positive, and most people do. And it's going to grow because we do that, I think. So anyway, hashtag catfish class.
Catfish class. Somebody put it in chat. Hashtag catfish class.
Exactly. And
Hey, Collins, how you doing? Yeah, my dad's name is William, and he goes by Mike. He just said
Mike.
Yeah, it came up William Lakin because that's his email and everything.
Kind of like Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Chucky. Yeah. There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah, that we spoke about that tournament. We might as well recognize another hashtag catfish class. And my goodness, how many boats? They had 30 or 40 boats. It was another pretty good tournament, and it was bring it up. Jack Height, I believe, is who that was. If anybody knows, help me out with that and come in class. But just
Lyle.
in this day. Yeah. Hey, Lyle, how are you doing?
Yeah, Lyle might be able to help you out with that.
But I love those.
I don't know all the names.
Yeah, I love those opportunities where the community is doing something good, and I believe that's positive attitude that'll help it grow. So keep it up, and let's recognize those opportunities when we see them.
Mm-hmm. So not to move on, but I mean, that's great. Yeah, catfish class. Let's recognize all those opportunities. And a lot of those opportunities get people into catfishing that didn't ever have the exposure before.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's great. So your dad started you on fishing, huh? And you've been a saltwater fisherman mostly, right?
Yeah. Like so many people, I started fishing with my dad, and back in the day, you went fishing to catch whatever come along. So you also took it all home and put it in the freezer till it got freezer burned, and then you threw it away. So thank goodness we've learned, and we can still learn. That we have to take care of those fish, and I see more and more people that are concerned and practicing CPR and so on. But anyway, yeah, I did learn to fish from my dad, and I've always had the passion for fishing. But when I moved to Florida, and really just before I moved down here, I decided, man, I've always wanted to be a guide, or at least I'd thought about it. And I thought, I'm going to get my license. I'm going to get my license when I get down there. And I'm going to be a guide. And so I did. I did that for 10 years. And, I can honestly say I don't think I ever had a bad trip. And I hear people talk about some of the terrible trips I had, but it's just like the catfish community. The people that want to come fishing, they're usually pretty good people. I don't know why or how, but they are. And I don't think I ever had a bad trip. But when that 10th year come up and I was thinking about renewing, I thought, well, I'm going to just stop.
Let it go.
It got harder and harder. And those days are always so much longer than the guest realizes.
Because you're up before them.
Oh, yeah. You're up.
And then you're cleaning the boat after they leave. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Muddy River, Chris was talking about that when I had him on here. He was talking about, getting up before the sun comes up and catching bait, and then having to clean the boat afterwards. So, and the fact that you went 10 years and didn't have a bad trip, that's a pretty good record. Uh-oh, he froze. All right, Ron. Well, whenever you can come back in. So I couldn't imagine. He was talking about being a guide. I couldn't imagine being a guide. I came in, went fishing yesterday, and had a terrible day out on the lake, and came in back into Black's Fish Camp where I put in, and I saw all these guide boats. They were all lined up. I guess they canceled all their trips or whatever. And I just could not imagine having a bunch of guests out on the boat and then not being able to produce for them. And then what do you do at that point? So I'm going to remove him for right now, and then we'll come back when he comes back in. I guess he must be having connectivity issues. Let's see. I thought I saw a question there. Palmetto Cats, I've been remiss. You said hi and I didn't respond. That's all right, Chris. No big deal, man. I'm just trying to keep up with chat. Hey, DMV Whisker King's in here. Mr. Gadget, how you doing, buddy? Let's see, did I miss anybody? If you came in Kentucky catfishing, hey, Cody. Cool. Yeah, and somebody was saying earlier about not getting the notifications. So, how you do those notifications, you go into YouTube and then right by the subscribe button, there's a little bell. Hey, Garrison H. You hit that bell button and you got to make sure you get all notifications. And he's back.
He is back.
Hey, Ace Catfishing. Hey, Wayne Harris. Grant McIntosh.
I'm sorry
John
about
Favioli.
that. We've got a little bit of weather around here tonight, and screen popped up, said I lost internet. So I was just gone, but anyway.
That's all right, man. We're just going to keep on flowing. If you go in and out, we'll keep it rolling, brother.
So we were saltwater fishing.
We were saltwater fishing, and I said 10 year. Chris was talking about how hard it is to be a guide and how he loves it, but, it's a long day. And you're up before catching bait and you're cleaning the boat afterwards. And then I said that you did it for 10 years and you didn't have a bad trip. That's a pretty good record. That's something to be proud about.
It was all fun. I'd do it again in a minute. I'd do it earlier because, I was in academia most of my life. And
until go ahead and talk about that. That was one of my questions, that you were a college professor.
Yeah, I was a college professor and a dean of a couple of different business schools. So, I had all of that academia stuff going on. So I was a writer already, but not an outdoors writer.
Right.
So when I moved to Florida, and I followed my daughter down here, she got married and moved to Florida. We come down here to visit one summer because usually you had summers off, and it was you could take some time. And man, when I saw this water down here, just unbelievable. Now I live between two huge rivers, the Banana River and the Indian River, and
Indian River fruit. I know Indian River fruit.
Oh yeah.
They I used to be a band director, so I'm an educator too. I'm an assistant principal at a high school.
Yeah.
So I understand those summers off, but Indian River fruit, my band used to always sell Indian River fruit.
Yeah. Fundraising type deals. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
this was big orange country, of course, around here, and not so much anymore, but it used to be. But anyway, from that point, when I decided I wasn't going to guide, I decided I'd start writing a little, and I did. I wrote 2 books, in fact, on saltwater.
Secrets from Florida's Master Anglers, right?
Secrets from Florida's Master Anglers, because while I was a guide, I was also the secretary treasurer of the Florida Guides Association.
Okay.
Which meant that I met guides all over the state and new guides all over the state. So when I decided to write the book, I just tapped on about 20 of those friends, and started asking them about different areas to fish and different ways they fish, and then turned into a book. And believe it or not, I mean, the first thing I ever did, and I am so proud to say that it was the best outdoor book at SEOPA, which is the Southeastern Outdoor Writers Association.
Right.
But to think that my little fishing book, it wasn't the best fishing book, it was the best book in all the outdoor categories. So I was very, very proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, man.
It is. And I wrote one more later about the East Coast in the same kind of format, using various guides to talk about their areas. And from there, I went on more to magazine writing, and knowing TJ Stallings, who was my friend that lined me up with Larry Muse. He was a big crappie guy, and he had me covering some crappie tournaments and so on. And so what the catfish guys call them bait. But
not here in South Carolina.
No, most people, a lot of catfish anglers like to fish crappie too. But I wrote a lot of crappie stories before I ever wrote one about catfish. But I haven't wrote very many since I started writing about catfish.
My wife said you like to pick difficult lines of work. You're in education, then you're a guiding service. Which is I mean, I understand you're taking people fishing, but you got to put up or shut up. And then you're a writer.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. but as long as all of it, you're doing something you like doing,
That's right.
uh,
That's right.
you don't think about it that way. But so I've been fortunate, I think, and I love my riding. I'm not loving this year.
You're great at it.
I haven't traveled, and that's one of the reason I've been doing more YouTube and Facebook Lives and things like that, because without traveling, I'm not getting photographs. I'm not getting the interviews that I use in the magazine and so on. So I'm trying to pick up on this live streaming and YouTubing and try to make something happen there, since I'm not traveling as much and may not be traveling as much. I don't know.
Right.
But
yeah, who knows how long it's going to last.
Yeah. So I'm trying to learn about that too.
Hey, everybody, go over and sub to Ron Presley on YouTube. I'm sure someone will put the link up here. They already have, but in case you just came in, Ron just started a new YouTube channel not too long ago, and he's doing live streams frequently. And he's, having discussions with some really good anglers on there, tournament anglers and just a bunch of people. Go check him out. Go help him out. So in that book, and I haven't read it, I will. I'm going to get me a copy. But do you interview or do you have anything from Walker K Chronicles?
No, I sure don't. But I watched one of his YouTubes just the other day.
Yeah.
And he's from this area. He lives right over here.
Right.
I actually wrote a proclamation that awarded him a big honor in the Florida Outdoor Writers Association.
Oh, okay.
We had him at the meeting and so on. But yeah, boy, that was a great show, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that Dieter actually reminded me that I used to watch that show. I had Dieter Melhorn in here, and I asked him who does he look up to as an angler, and he mentioned him. I said I used to watch Walker K Chronicles, along with Bill Dance and Jimmy Houston and all them. But Walker K, as far as I know, CatCon is still going on outdoors. Whoever said, I think is outdoors, somebody. But anyway, he caught all the saltwater fish, and it was always something different. And it was awesome. And I grew up pan fishing for brim, shellcracker, that sort of fish, and we did a little cat fishing. But then I would always go. We would go down and catch sharks sometimes. We would go shark fishing. My dad and his little Eldo Sport stick steer out there in the ocean.
Oh yeah.
But and so I've always had an affinity for saltwater fishing, even if only because you really never know what you're going to pull up.
No, that's one of the real joys of saltwater fishing. Yeah. And I maybe should clarify, when I say saltwater fishing and my guiding, 90% of that was in the backcountry, in these rivers this Banana River, Indian River, that right here by me. It's saltwater fish and brackish water, but it's not the ocean. I'd go out in the ocean occasionally, and certain times of the year it can just be so awesome. But I never was crazy about bouncing up and down. So wait a minute, this part of it isn't so fun, I think. But
and I'm sure old William Lakin remembers the time we went out in the Eldo Sport or Eldo Craft, whatever you call it. It was a boat like this wide. Like I think maybe I could fit in it now, but we went out there and he caught a 250-pound sand shark.
Oh man,
we had to drag it backwards.
Well, you could see anything out there. I mean, Port Canaveral is right here in my backyard. I mean, I can be to Port Canaveral in. Gosh, that reminds me of something else. We had a rocket launch tonight, and I've never had heard the sonic boom lag so much. And so I heard that rocket go off, and it's rumbling and rumbling, and it kind of fades away. And then I'm go on about my work, and that sonic boom came, and it raised me right up off my chair. It was so loud. It was unusual. I don't know why, but anyway, you can see anything out there in the ocean, and going out of the port. I've seen everything from little canoes, and of course the kayakers, they go out there anymore.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy to me. And then the next thing you know, you're getting pulled over by one of those patrol boats saying there's a submarine coming in because there's a nuclear substation right there in Port Canaveral. So I've seen a little bit of everything come in. Of course, now they're bringing those boosters back in off these rockets, which also is amazing. When I see that booster land on that platform out there and just back right down to it, it's amazing. I don't know how they did.
Yeah, people smarter than us.
Yeah, we had one of those
Bloom
today.
says he's waiting on those rods to go down on the green screen.
Yeah, right. I thought I saw one wiggle here a little bit ago. It'll happen.
Yeah, we actually have a nuclear school here in Goose Creek, which is next to where I live, and you can't, like, if you're going out the saltwater side out into the Cooper River, which leads out to the ocean, they have giant gunboats there. They got 50 cal machine guns on the front, and you can go through there, but they have a sign. It's about this big.
Yeah,
so you don't see it.
Yeah.
But if you throttle down in there, they will come up on you and point that machine gun in your face. Ask me how I know.
You've seen it.
Yeah, my friend and I broke down in that military zone, and we had both of them come up on us, and those things are powerful, man. They're the big rubber boats with two like 300 horsepower engines. I mean, they're just massive machine weapons of death.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they came up, and you know what they did, right? They didn't tow us back to the dock. They towed us out of the military zone and said, "Good luck."
Yeah. Well, when those subs are coming in, they tell you either got to go in or you got to go, north or south. You got to get out of the way here. So you at least had a choice.
Yeah, my friend John said that's scary in a kayak. He lives down here with me, and
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
We've got those gunboats in Port Canaveral as well, and a lot of that happened since 9/11. Everything changed, where you used to be able to just boat up and fish around the locks and stuff, and everything changed after that. He had to stay so far away from the docks in the port. And
Goose Creek used to be a major military port, a naval base, and so the Navy base has moved since then. But even back when I was a kid, they had the active nuclear submarines and warships stationed here in Goose Creek, which, you say Goose Creek and people don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it was a huge, huge military site.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that. I wouldn't have known it.
Yeah. Well, hey, I just saw him pop in, so I'm going to go ahead and do my YouTube channel of the week. Y'all, this guy is pumping out videos all the time, and if you're not careful, you might eat your arm off. So Palmetto Cat's YouTube channel of the week is Mr. Mike Chavez, fishing/cooking with Mike Chavez. Y'all go check him out. He just popped in. I was hoping he would come so that he could hear me say it live. If you like cooking and you like ribs, and he does some tacos and he does corn. I mean, he does it all, and it looks tasty, and he's really down home and humble. Go check him out. Go sub to him, and you won't be disappointed, I swear. So that's my YouTube shout out of the week. Hey, LG Bass, there's old Chucky. What did he say? He says saltwater side of Bushy has subs, and if you don't keep moving, they send. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Yeah. They'll send them warships, or them. They're not really big, but they look big with that gun on the front.
Yeah, they're gunboats.
That's right. So we talked about a lot of stuff. Let's see. Tell us about Bill Dance. What is Bill Dance like off camera?
Man, he's just as down home as anybody in the world. He really is. And he, of course, everybody knows him as a bass fisherman, and including me, really, till a few years back when I discovered that he is really, really into the catfishing. And I met him at Mississippi River Monsters when George Young first started that. I think that was 2016. And of course, Bill was helping him with developing that tournament, and got the connection with Bass Pro, and ended up weighing at the pyramid over there and everything. It turned into a really big production. And I actually got to fish with him the year before that at a Big Cat Quest tournament in Missouri, New Madrid,
Yep.
I think, Missouri, and which is another great fishing hole up there. Boy, they caught some big fish, and that was one of the first. It was a classic, if I remember right. So it was a year-ending classic, and I fished with him and George Young, and there's never a dull moment on the boat. It's just all I can say is it's fun. And then it looked fun. I think it was the second Mississippi River Monsters. I fished with him and Vicky Mathenia. I don't know if anybody knows Vicky, but Vicky's, they call her Queen of the Mississippi. She is a big catfish angler, fishes with her son, Jason Big Cat Mathenia, and they do pretty darn good. Yeah, you see them around in some of the tournaments quite a lot, but it was Vicky had won a trip with Bill somewhere or other, and they invited me along to take some pictures and stuff, and it was a great day on the water. But yeah, if you don't know Vicky, look her up on Facebook, and big catfish lady. She gets in there with them, I'll tell you. And
we have some lady anglers in here tonight too. I'm sure that. So y'all ladies, if you heard that name, go check her out. I'm going to check her out too.
Vicky Mathenia.
Mathenia. Okay.
Yeah, she's a good one. You do want to check her. And speaking of women, we're getting more and more all the time. And this one story I mentioned earlier that I'm working on right now is a lady catfisher, and I think I met her at the first chick fight, which was the first all women's catfish tournament. Which they didn't get to have it this year.
Right, they had to cancel it.
They'll have a good one next year, I'm sure. But it just keeps growing. And in fact, that led us at Catfish Now to devote every July to cat women. So
awesome.
we call that whole issue, the July issue is always a cat women.
I saw that. Yeah.
And it's full of catfish ladies, and it's kind of fun doing that one as well.
What was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I actually saw that, and I saw that there was like tips from women, not only just recognizing them, but actually learning from them. And I think that's important because it's easy for someone to say, hey, I support women fishermen, but then that's all you say. But then if you have an actual section, right, where they're given tips and tricks and everything.
Yeah, there's a standard format to Catfish Now. It'll always have two, what we call catfish basics, and that'll be coming from some angler, some catfish angler just giving a tip that might help other anglers catch more fish. And then there's a B&M tip of the month. Let me change that to B&M video tip of the month. So this is different than the Catfish Basics. And then there's the Catfish Now video tip of the month. And so those are in every magazine, and those were all women in the July issue. And it goes on from there. And in fact, there's one regular column in Catfish Now that's reader contributed, and I'd like to invite anyone to join sometime. Send me an email or on Facebook, whatever. It's called Why We Catfish, and individuals just get to tell their story about why they catfish. And I'll tell you, from my feedback, I think it's one of the more popular columns in the magazine, because people just get to say what it is they like about catfishing and what they do. There are some incredible stories. You could go in there and start back in October 2016 and just read that story every month up until now. You'd gain a wealth of information, and you'd find out what kind of people we got with us out there. They're awesome. And
I've seen it. I guess I just didn't realize that it was reader contributed.
It's reader contributed.
That's awesome. Hey, VA Basser, John Patrick Jr., Catfish Headhunters. Hey, Norm, Mike Irvin, JP3, who else did I see? Katie Collins, There's Maria Dobson. That's the one I saw just pop in. Hey, everybody. Yeah, that's awesome. And we actually have someone in chat right now who's a really good writer. And he knows who I'm talking about. I won't put him on the spot, but we text often. So dude, you need to go ahead and contribute to Catfish Now. He's an excellent writer. And he just told me today that he sent me an email earlier this month or last month and said that he types like 75 to 85 words per minute. So writing a column wouldn't be bad for you there, buddy.
I hope I hear from him. I really do.
Yeah. And I'll tell you privately who it is, but I don't want to put him on the spot.
Well, if he does, he can just tell me that you sent him.
There you go. You go.
Kevin sent me. Yeah, would love to hear from him.
Wayne Harris, how you doing? Yeah. What would you say to someone who believes that anglers shouldn't share information? Like, there's a group of anglers and there's some people, hey, the Kentucky angler, another Kentucky one. Hey, how you doing? There's some people, and they're probably mostly not YouTubers, but they believe that, I'm not telling anybody how to catch more fish, or I'm not telling anybody where to go, and, or not giving any tips at all. I wouldn't tell anybody where to go. Let me just get that straight.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think back to when I was a kid and I was bass fishing with my brother-in-law, and we were doing really good. And I forget what we were using there, probably a Lucky 13. I know that was one of the favorites back then, but we were catching them on this particular color. And so another boat comes by and, how you doing? And I say, man, I just blurted out, I tell the whole story, how we caught them and everything else. And man, did I get a lecture from my brother-in-law, who was quite a bit older than I was. I was a kid, he was an adult, but that's the way people were.
Yeah,
they didn't really share stuff, and there are some of them left, but I think that's a declining population. I believe more people are willing to share. And look at what I do. I ask people to share their information, and they willingly do it all the time. The only time I don't find them sharing information is on the first day of a 2-day tournament.
Yeah, and obviously.
Then you don't get much. But when that tournament's over, you can usually find out everything you want to know.
Well, that's just stupid. I mean, you don't want to be stupid.
Yeah, right. But no, I'm happy about where that's going. More and more people do it all the time. Speaking of Larry Muse, he's one of the most sharing people in the world. I think of that dragging weight that he had developed, and told Aaron Wheatley, I believe, about it at the Monsters on the Ohio tournament several years ago, and told him how to make it and everything else. And now look out there, how many different dragging weights can you name? And I think that was one of the first. I don't know. That little Santee dragon weight's been around a long, long time, but the one that Larry made was much bigger and so on. And, he started talking about he drug it over everything in the world without getting hung up. And it was one of those innovations in what we do when we catfish anymore. But he shared it, and happily. So, and he still can go out and catch big fish. Golly, did you see him get knocked down? Did you happen to see the live feed?
Yes, I felt so bad for him.
I was looking at that, but when I fished with him, I knew he used oxygen on them. They're always so lively; it's unreal. And then the next week, let's see, that was Carruthersville, and that one really whooped him. The next week at Carruthersville, he took another one.
He did.
He did, just 1 week later. So, and I think he won third place in that one. That was last weekend. But, those fish are always lively. And when they get that big, that tail is powerful.
Well, and then, they're slinging 40 pounds in a dead weight in one direction.
Exactly.
I mean, you think about all that weight going one way, that either you drop them or you hang on to save the fish. And I bet
that's lost your hat here recently. Yeah. Was that from a fish kicking you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kicked it off, and it was. The more I watch it, the more I think how crazy it was that it actually happened. Because it kicked from this side, but the hat went that way.
The hat went the other way.
Weird.
Maybe it's
hey, Chesapeake Bay Catfishing, I have your sticker. My wife's gonna send it out tomorrow. I'm sorry you hadn't got it yet. Tirador Arco. I didn't roll my R's. Tim Molina. How you doing, buddy? Welcome in. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please go ahead and go hit that. I appreciate it. And we're gonna give this towel away here in about 5 minutes. So make sure that you're. I'm actually gonna let Ron help me out with that one. So yeah, and the only time I think it's okay. Now you were talking about when somebody rode by when you were younger and you were sharing everything with them. I actually think that's kind of okay if your cousin or your I forget, was your brother or your cousin?
Brother-in-law, yeah.
Your brother-in-law that he got mad at you because when boat rod. So when we do a lot of pan fishing, if we're sitting on a shell cracker bed or we got a big bluegill bed that we're sitting on, people down here will actually come up. And if they know you're catching them, they'll anchor right there and throw right into the spot right in front of you. Yeah. So Dad and I remember when I was young, we're sitting on a bed and he'd see a boat come around the corner and I'd catch one, pull it in. He said, "Don't put a worm on the hook, just throw it in there." or he'd have one pull it down and he just lay the brim buster down and just put the tip in the water and just let the fish do what it wanted until they passed.
Yeah, let them go by. Yeah. Yep. No, you don't want them moving right in on you. That's kind of rude, I think, when people do that.
Listen, man, it just happened this year. And actually, I was filming my one and only shellcracker video because we only found one good bed this year. And then 2 or 3 boats just moved in, and I swear I could have whipped them with my brim buster. They were so close.
Oh boy!
The line attached, but I could have taken that 14-foot brim buster and whipped him with the hook. He was so close, and it's maddening, because you get people to move. So I think it's okay if you're actually out there to not share. But then when you come in, you say, "Hey, I was fishing this depth. I was using this bait. This time of day, it was high tide, it was low tide, I don't know." I think
more and more people are doing that. Yeah.
There are. And Facebook, Facebook too, but YouTube has really opened that up. And, you can find out how to. I just told somebody, or I told the in the live feed last week, I was like, I didn't realize catfishing was on YouTube as much until about 1.5 years ago. And I don't know why I didn't put it together, because you can fix your car, your refrigerator, and, learn how to date a girl on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't catfishing be on there?
Yeah, I guess so. Boy, I use it a lot. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I use YouTube for about everything. And it's to the point now where I won't even read the directions on something. I'll just watch a video.
The first thing I want to do. Yeah. Yeah. It's usually a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. So I know B&M has something to do with, well, I don't want to assume. You're always wearing a Sea Arc shirt and a B&M hat.
Well, those are the 2 largest sponsors of Catfish Now.
Okay.
So, that's basically why. And, they're the kind of sponsors that the industry needs. They never say anything about how many products our magazine sold for them or anything. That's not it. They're in it to support the community and grow it. And, I just appreciate them so much that that's why you'll see me. You'll see me in a lot of other hats too. The other sponsors, remember, they're bringing this magazine to folks for free. We don't charge anything for it. And our sponsors are just as important to us as sponsors are to tournament fishermen and so on. But they are really, really good sponsors. We appreciate them. Mm-hmm. And we got a lot more. Offshore tackle, Driftmaster.
Yeah, go ahead and run through a few of them. Go ahead.
Well, I'll forget them now, but Driftmaster rod holders, offshore tackle. And these people have been with us from the start and continue to help make that magazine available to everyone with a very sincere interest of growing the sport, make it better for everybody, and, then sharing the profits of whatever come after that. But I love them all, I'll tell you.
Yeah. My dad said they'll actually hold on to the back of your boat, talking about the people that come in on your beds.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. It takes a a community to make something happen, like a big magazine like that. So, I have 2 B&M rods. I love them. So I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I just got me 2. I got me a one of them ones you have back there. What are those? Is that Silver Cat?
Those are Silver Cats you see in the background there. Yeah.
And then I got one of those Silver Cat Magnum, and then I got the red one. What's the red one?
That's the Elite, man. Everybody is talking about that one.
Yep.
They're
the price point is right.
Yeah.
They're at $60 something, and a lot of stores have them. I think that's why a lot of people are getting them. So Palmetto State Armory is our kind of like fish and tackle big box store down here, and they have them. They have them in stock all the time. And other than the ugly stick, they're
popular. Anyone I've ever talked to with them has really liked those rods. Yeah. Brandy Atkins, I wish she was watching here. I see her with hers. She's always talking about them. That's why her name popped into my mind. Yeah. She and Jody Atkins are big catfish anglers who travel all over. Mm-hmm. So many of them anymore. You can't keep up with them. And tournaments, I'm just amazed at the tournaments. I try to recognize tournament winners and things like that when I can, but there are so many. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Michael Murillo said, I love the B&M Silver Cat rods. I fish with them 75% of my time at the lake.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah. Those they're good ones.
And hey, Ron, look at my face. Remember who we were talking about earlier? That was him.
Uh-oh. There you go, Michael.
Chunky Cat's kind of put him on the chopping block earlier, though. I saw it in chat. Hey, over outdoors. How you doing?
I don't know how you keep up with that chat and think at the same time.
Well, I'm listening to you, but I'm watching the chat. So people think I'm not paying attention, but I'm listening to you and I'm watching to make sure I don't miss anything. What do you say we go ahead and give away one of these towels?
Let's do that. Chucky'd like it.
Yeah. So Chucky Ouvry, right here in South Carolina, Goose Creek, actually. Goose Creek, South Carolina. And inexpensive towels. He'll take your logo, put it on there, and ship it out to you real fast. So we're going to do, since we got 61 in chat right now, let's do a drawing with numbers this time. People seem to like that. And Ron, I want you to go ahead and think of a number between 1 and 100. Don't say it out loud. And everyone, and when I say go, you can start typing in your numbers there. Only put one number, and anyone who goes over the number that Ron selects will be out. So 1 through 100, go. So they'll start typing those in. So do you still write for any other magazines, or is Catfish Now the only one?
I do occasionally, but I don't really have time to do too much more. And I write for Crappie Now occasionally. We'll do a crappie story here and there. I do write for it was previously the Outdoor Journal from Cabela's King Cat and Crappie USA. They had what they call the Outdoor Journal. And I would put a crappie story and a catfish story in that every quarter. And they've recently changed that. They've separated it into 2 publications. It's the crappie. Now I can't think of the name of it. It has a name of its own. And then the catfish side has its own journal. So now you'll start seeing, and I do a story in each one of those. They're a quarterly publication and they report on all the tournaments, but I do an extra story in that. And I also write their press releases for them.
Okay, cool.
Crappie USA and King Cat. They have a brand new tournament director. And I know a lot of people knew Jeremy Coe, who was with the King Cat side for a long, long time. And he made some moves and went here and there. He's now with Sea Arc, in fact.
Oh, really?
And just recently, Mr. Tim Fortner has came on. I mean, he's got like 2 tournaments under his belt, and he's a good guy. I'm looking forward to what he will do with that trail. And he's an ex policeman, so
awesome,
blue line guy, So probably won't be taking no guff from people. You better go by the rules and so on. But
better follow them rules.
Yeah, and also I believe, and I've got to double check. I'm almost sure that he was the polygraph guy for both those trails for a while, so he was familiar with the trails in that sense. But watch for him. I saw he did, in fact, several live feeds over this weekend. They were
did he?
They were fishing a tournament in Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas, Tuttle Creek. I've never been there to fish it, even though my hometown's Wichita, Kansas. But he did several live feeds, and I think there's going to be a lot of changes in that. And they are one of our sponsors too, as a matter of fact, with Catfish Now. So
there you go.
Keep an eye on those guys. If you're crappie fisherman, Crappie USA. If you're a catfish fisherman, it's King Cat.
King Cat.
Yeah, of course, there used to be Cabela's King Cat. Now it's Bass Pro Cabela's King Cat. So
right.
Both of those are Bass Pro Cabela's events. But that's they travel all over, so they've got a huge map that I don't know how they do it, to tell you the truth. That's too much traveling. The King Cat Classic will be in Kansas. Speaking of Kansas, at Milford Lake.
Because you're from Kansas, right?
Yeah, I'm from Wichita, Kansas. So haven't been back in a while. I've found better pastures.
I'd say so, or lack thereof pastures, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Ron, what's your number?
65.
65. If I can get Cody and Murillo and Mr. Gadget and all them to go find out who's closest, I'm not going to scroll up and slow down the show. I'll let my buddies help me. Hey, Buckeye Catfishing, how you doing? It's D. Skip Stewart's in the house. What's up, Skip? We got JoJo G. How you doing, buddy? So, yeah, as soon as they get back in there, they'll tell us who won. So why don't you go ahead? You wanted to talk about one of the things, and I don't get as upset about it because it only makes the people who do it correctly look better. But I know that it bugs you that people do this. So, Buckeye won. Buckeye, they're saying Buckeye won. All right, Buckeye,
right.
You got your white towel. And he's won a shirt for me before. So, man, that's
lucky
good.
Lucky
man.
Buckeye. Isn't a Buckeye supposed to be lucky? Isn't that a lucky charm?
That's right. That's right. So if you would do me a favor, Jim, please send me your address again. It's so far back in my messages, I probably won't be able to find it. But anyway, this bothers you a lot, and I can see why, being a person who needs photos and videos and it needs it to look good. So why don't you go ahead and give us your little spiel about what we're talking about?
I want to make my plea.
Make your plea. There you go.
Yeah. Please start taking some of those photos horizontally or landscape mode. All you really have to do, that's right, all you really have to do is turn that camera sideways, and there's a place for vertical. But being a magazine editor, the only time really that I want a vertical photo is probably for the cover.
Right.
That's it. You'd rather every other photo in there be landscape mode because, well, in one reason that the templates that you've used to build the magazines, if you put the vertical one in there, you've seen black on the sides.
And you got to crop in too.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of a pet peeve, I guess, that I'd love to see people take more. And I don't think it's anyone's fault or anything like that. I do believe it's a part of the iPhone or the smartphone culture that we've just started using those phones, and we hold them like this for about everything we do. And it's just natural to do it. But really, like you were showing, all you had to do is turn it sideways. Now, I do always try to put my lens at the top. That way. That's another thing you think about. When you turn it, it might be at the bottom.
Now you're getting too specific. You're going to lose people.
You better stop. Well, it bugged me, and I had trouble because when I'd go to these tournaments, I'd try to do some live feeds and show people the ramp that we were going to be using or whatever, and I'd have trouble getting my iPhone to do it. And it got to be so much of a hassle. I said, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to find out how to do this. So I did. But now I'm discovering I found out how to do it on an iPhone 6S, but I may not know how to do it on any other phone. It seems like the technology changes and the way you do it. But I'm betting if you have an iPhone, you can do it one way or another. Oh, yeah. And you just gotta learn it. And
well, we were talking before the show, a lot of it is just, when you start a live stream or a video, pictures are different. Now you can rotate a picture. You can actually, now maybe you didn't know this, and maybe this will help you. You can edit that video in your iPhone and rotate it. Now it may auto crop a little bit for you, but at least it'll turn it the right way so that when you share that photo, it's formatted correctly.
You can do that in your phone. That's
right. You can do that. All you do is press edit, and then you get the rotate button, and you can rotate it around. Now it's not going to be full out, and it'll probably crop in on your fish.
It'll crop some stuff off, and that's my point, really, because when I see a photo like this, the top third will be sky, the middle third will be the subject, and the bottom third will be pavement.
Yep.
I'm just saying, get the subject all in that horizontal view, and the things that are kind of at the side also. And it's not, it's easy enough to turn it and take a photo. It's only the live streaming that's a problem. And
and so then that too, and that was my next point. We were talking is that people don't know or don't remember to turn it sideways when they start their live stream.
Yeah.
And so when you start it, you can't turn it the other way. The phones, I don't think any phone will let you do that.
Very quickly, you can hold your phone like this, bring up your Facebook app, and it says live on there. Yeah. And you can hit that live right there.
Right.
And then turn it, and don't ever straighten it up again after that. From that point on, there's a few things that you do to go ahead and get to the point you want to go live feed. And one of those relates to those. I saw one today where the lettering was backwards on the hat.
Mm-hmm.
There's
because you're using the front facing camera.
Yeah. There's one button you can push. Mm-hmm. And this would be for you doing a live stream with your face in the screen, of course, which is that's the way it starts if you don't change it. So it's not that difficult, but a few steps and you can do it.
Just got to remind yourself to do it. That's the hard part.
Yeah. But there's one little button in there that you push, and it'll make your letters look right. But then if you change orientation and go change it to the front view, then the letters will be backwards in the front, and you got to change it again. So, it's catch-22, but I just like to see people get serious enough about it to figure out how to do it on their own camera. I think it'd be cool, and especially tournaments. When you trying to look at a tournament live feed on a vertical picture, it's that same thing. You're just seeing too much sky and pavement, and not enough of the fish, which I'd like to. You see, so maybe somebody will try. I did a little live feed on that last week and showed people how I do it, at least. And
go check it out. Go check it out.
Yeah, I got one person contact me trying to help, and that's when I discovered that her phone had all the same deals, but it wouldn't do it. And it was an 8. It was an iPhone 8. It was a newer phone. So you got to figure it out for yourself. And if you got an Android, I heard some of them won't do it at all. Period. So. It's all different.
Let's see. Come on now, y'all. I'm so technology challenged. I need my granddaughters to turn off parental control so I can watch a movie.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I am too. This one just got to me. I decided I'm going to find out how to do this. And I can do that now with my phone, but nobody else.
Yeah. People didn't know they were going to get an iPhone lesson, did they?
No, probably not. Especially for me. I'm the last person you want to take technology advice from.
Well, and a lot of people think that when new technology comes out, it's just so different, and some people are just afraid to learn, or maybe not afraid, they just don't want to take the time to learn. And YouTube has made it so much easier for you.
Yeah,
you don't have to read any manuals or anything. Just if you're laying on the couch watching videos, just Go ahead and turn one on.
Well, that's how I learned. I couldn't find one place to learn it. I put several YouTubes together and figured it out.
I got you. Yeah, last night I learned to cook Chinese pepper chicken on YouTube. Ooh. And it was delicious. Oh man. Wish I had some more, but
I'm glad I already ate. I'd be getting hungry now.
Hey, food don't last long around this boy.
Yeah.
Hey, so I just wanted to recap a little bit tonight. Y'all, Ron Presley, affectionately now known as Catfish Ron. Take it to the bank. That's your new nickname.
All right.
He has a YouTube channel, editor for Catfish Now. Go ahead and get your free subscription to Catfish Now. There's videos on there, articles. If you want to submit an article, you can. And then go check out his YouTube channel where he's going to be doing a lot of live streams with very good tournament anglers and of him giving information about iPhones and all other stuff as well. He's got a wealth of knowledge, as you've seen tonight. We barely scratched the surface. Also, want to go ahead and shout out my YouTube channel of the week again. Fishing and Cooking with Mike Chavez. If you haven't subbed, go check him out. Also, if you hadn't hit that thumbs up, go ahead and hit it. Go ahead and subscribe. I have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway coming up. Thankfully, Ron, I hit my 4,000 hours of watch time.
I saw that. Congratulations!
You have to have within 1 year. You have to have 4,000, and a lifetime I've got more than 4,000. But just in the last year, I just hit the 4,000 mark. So all I'm waiting for is those subs, and then we can do more live from the boat on YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah, third party, man.
You're not far off. It'll happen soon.
Oh yeah. I've been blessed, man. I'm not complaining about anything. And if it takes another 3 months, it does. But if you want that bait board, make sure you share out that video and make sure you're subbed. Ron, anything else you want to say before I pray us out?
Well, I would like to invite people to visit catfishnow.com and utilize two specific things that were put on there for anglers. One of them is the Trophy Club, and you can go in there on the Trophy Club and post your own personal best or any trophy catfish that you might be interested in. It's by categories. We can't do every 10, 20, 30, but there's some categories, and you can post yours in there for people to see, and with a little bit of information about where you caught it and so on. So I would just invite people to go in and take advantage of that, brag a little bit on your catches, and let other people see them too, because everybody likes to see the photos of big catfish,
Well, and we're always trying to share photos anyway, so that's just one more place to share it.
One more place to do it. And also there's a calendar on there, and this was something our website has been recently this year renewed and completely changed around. And this the calendar thing was something we tried to put in the back of every magazine, where you could actually look at who won different tournaments and so on and so on. Well, now it's on the website, and it can be accessed by anyone, tournament directors and so on, that want to post when their tournaments are going to be. It'll show up on a calendar, so people can look at October, for example, and if you've got a tournament in October, they'll see it, or if somebody else does, and they can kind of make choices of where they want to fish. So, but it is going to require people to go in there and do that. I mean, they had to turn that in before anyway, but now they're actually going to have to key it in. But nevertheless, that could be a good asset. So, yeah,
I think so.
You. Yeah,
one-stop shop for tournaments, and
exactly.
And I think that'd be great. And that website looks great, y'all. If you haven't, now there are ads on it, but like he said, that's how they keep it free.
That's right.
So
that's exactly right.
Catfish Now magazine is 100% free. You don't have to pay for it. So, and actually I clicked on a couple ads that I didn't even know there were products out. But hey, Mr. Gadget Fishing said, great show. Thanks, Ron. Longtime reader of Catfish Now. So
I appreciate that, Mr. Gadget. Thank you. Appreciate everybody in here tonight. You got a good crew out there.
Oh yeah, man. This community has been so great. You lose some and you gain some, and but there's always that core that's in there, and I appreciate every single person that's in there. And I just want to let all of y'all know that, And Ron, anytime you want to pop on a Sunday night and hop in the chat and just start chatting with us, I'd love to have you in there. And
I'll try that. Your time period's a little rough on my bed. I always watch it later, though, I'll have to say.
Yeah, and the reason I do 8 is because I got a lot of central time folks watching.
Exactly.
And if I go earlier, then that, they're getting off work and everything. So, but yeah, I understand. I got work in the morning. I got to wake up at 5 o'clock. So, Ron, I'm gonna pray us out. Heavenly Father, I do thank you for yet another opportunity to come in here and talk to someone with a wealth of knowledge and share all the information he has to offer this community. And I do thank you, Lord. I thank you so much for this community of people who have, collaborated with me. I've met new friends. I've met new it feels like family, Lord. And I just thank you for that. And Lord, we thank you for people like Ron Presley that, have seen a lot and been around and know the people, Lord, and can come in here and share with us, especially those of us who are new, Lord. And we just thank you for people like that. Lord, we pray for Ron that he would stay healthy. He's been staying healthy, Lord. And we just pray that this virus would go away, Lord, so that he can go out and physically come to these tournaments and report, Lord. And once again, I thank you for the United States of America, Lord, that we're free from persecution for doing a show like this, Lord. There's nobody going to come knock down my door, Lord, because we live in the United States of America and we're free to do this, Lord. I just thank you for putting me in this country, Lord. Lord, again, I just thank you for this platform also that I can share my love for you. And without you, Lord, none of this would exist. We owe everything to you. And I thank you and praise you. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks for watching, everybody. Fish with passion.
Yeah, fish with passion. That's a good one. Hashtag fish with passion. What was the other one? Catfish class, right?
Hashtag catfish class. That's
all right, y'all. Check
all the viewers you got out there.
Yep. Hey, check them out on YouTube. Hit that like button before you get out of here. And that's it, y'all. Until next time, happy fishing.